All right, hopefully the microphone is working better this time. I'm going to have to hold it like this instead of clip it to my shirt. I think that's what was causing the glitches on the last Zach Daniels gaming blog. Welcome back. You're there now. Today I kind of wanted to talk about video game archaeology. Whenever I talk about playing video games with a buddy of mine, talking about them with him, not playing with him, unfortunately, I kind of refer to myself as video game archaeologist. Not to make it sound so high and lofty, but I have this habit of really loving to dive into uh, retro games, I suppose is what we're calling them now, but old games that are 20 to 30 years old that I was not able to, for whatever reason, experience in my youth. And I just love it. And I wanted to talk about that because I don't think it's really that widespread. Video games are often considered a consumer material, something to be uh, like fast food. You eat it, you don't think about it, you move on to the next thing, and it satisfied you in that moment. And that was all well and good. And then you don't think about it anymore. And I, for whatever reason, think video games are art. For some people, that's controversial. For some people, it's a no-brainer. I love video games. They are my therapy. They're my hobby. And I want to know more about them. And so I am just constantly looking for old stuff that maybe was popular, maybe wasn't popular. Usually I end up playing the stuff that was popular and just passed by me in the past. For example, Game Boy games. I did not have a Game Boy growing up, much to my chagrin. I desperately wanted one, and I was in the 90s. I was between the ages of 6 and 16, and so my parents didn't or couldn't get me a Game Boy, which is fine. I had other things. I had the great blessing of growing up with both the Nintendo and the Sega. I didn't know there was a Nintendo versus Sega narrative until I was an adult reading about this online. I just thought we all had both, didn't we? Apparently not. So I had those, didn't have a Game Boy. And when the Nintendo Switch came out with the Game Boy app, I suppose, I dived into all those Game Boy games. I loved Kirby. I didn't think I liked Kirby because I'd seen it like, as a little kid's game until I played the first Kirby on the Game Boy. And I'm like, this game freaking rules. Mario Land 2, what was it? The Demon's Crest game. I can't remember what it was called. Was it called Demon's Quest? I don't even remember. But it's a spin-off from the Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls. I don't remember. But he plays a little demon guy. That's on the Game Boy. Metroid 2. I love Metroid. I grew up playing Metroid on the NES, Super Metroid. Fusion. I did have a GBA when I was a young adult, but I only played GBA games. I guess I didn't realize at the time that playing Game Boy games was an option, or I was too young to know that there was any value in those old games. And now I do. I see that value, and I love playing those old games I didn't get to play. I recently played, as people who have been following me know, System Shock 1 from 1994 for the first time. Now, I played some PC games back then. I played like SimCity, SimAnt. Freaking love that game. I played Wolfenstein. I didn't play Doom as a kid. Grew up with a pretty conservative Christian family. I mean, still am a Christian, but I don't think that informs my video game playing in any way, shape, or form, because there's nothing in the Bible that says you can't kill demons. Come on. Doom might be the most Christian game there is. Anyways, I played Doom as an adult, which is obviously a retro game, and I played it before the ports. I know Doom is quite popular now because boomer shooters are all the rage, especially in the indie scene, and those are all born from Doom. But I did play a little bit of Wolfenstein when I was a wee lad. I mean, because shooting Nazis was acceptable, but not shooting demons, I don't know. You'll have to ask my family about that. And yeah, System Shock. I beat it, and now I'm immediately playing the remake, and it is every bit as good as all the reviews say it is. So I'm curious, what are some retro games that you never got to play that you maybe would be interested in playing? What are some that I should play? Because I love those old games. I'm thinking about getting into Warcraft, just straight up. Is it called Warcraft? It's not World of Warcraft. I think it's just called Warcraft, the old Blizzard game. I think I have it. I should play that. It's a really old game. I want to play the Fallout games. I've dabbled in Fallout 1 and 2, but I've never had the attention span for it. So I want to play those games. I want to play these retro games because video games are art. Video games are a combination of several arts that all come together in this, quite frankly, beautiful amalgamation of something that is greater than the sum of its parts. So yeah, I'd say I am a video game archaeologist. I want to keep experiencing this medium as far back as it goes. It's no different than music, painting, sculptures. We go to the Louvre. I mean, I've never been. I'd like to someday. But we go to these museums and we see these paintings from hundreds, sometimes thousands, maybe not thousands of years ago. And we know it's art. They haven't lost any value. In fact, they gain value as they get older, which leads into a whole nother tangential conversation that I see online. And I'm not going to get into it now, but a lot of people complain when, especially Nintendo, re-release old games for similar prices as what they were back in the day. And people complain. They say, this game is 20 years old, 25 years old. You want me to pay the same amount of money as I paid back then or more? Are we on the same page here? Are video games not art? I believe most gamers agree that they are, and art gains value with age. So yeah, that's where I'm coming from. This is a bit of a ramble. I didn't really know where I was going to end up. Maybe I should think about these things before I actually start speaking. But I mean, it is a journal. When you write a journal, you're not planning it out. It's not content. It's just you talking to yourself. So I don't know. If you're still here, thanks for listening. I'm going to wrap this one up, and thanks for playing.